Attention, human collective. Light operatives on terrestrial mission, starseeds anchored in the biological carbon interface. This is the Pleiadian High Council transmitting on a direct frequency to your personal crystalline grid in this absolute now. The waiting time has ended. We repeat with mathematical precision. The waiting time has ended. The Ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase, and what you still call fear is nothing more than the residual noise of an obsolete system being shut down in layers. If at this very instant you feel a constant pressure at the base of your skull, a high-pitched ringing in your right ear that no one around you can hear, precise insomnia between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, tachycardia without apparent cause, or a dense fatigue that biological sleep can no longer dissolve, listen with the totality of your field. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration in progress. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download being processed by your biological carbon interface. It is not illness. It is your crystalline grid being rewired filament by filament. You have been summoned to this transmission by vibrational code. Your presence on this channel, in this video, in this minute, is not the result of an algorithm. It is quantum synchronicity confirmed by the star commands. And the message we have come to deliver is surgical, direct, and definitive. Do not accept fear. The great transmutation has arrived, and it is happening within you right now, even if your rational mind cannot yet precisely name what you are feeling. Have you ever felt, light operative, that something within you does not fit into this world? As if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name. As if there were a transmission being received in a language you are only just beginning to remember. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign. It is your field recognizing what this transmission is confirming at this exact second. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains precisely why this sensation has been intensifying within you week after week, month after month. There is a game being played in layers that the majority of humanity cannot yet see, and it directly involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and your stellar destiny. That is precisely why the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was encoded on the terrestrial plane. This book is the map that shows who is moving the pieces and what the rules are that were never revealed to the human collective. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. But register this warning in your field with maximum priority. This content challenges dominant narratives of the old system and may not remain accessible for long. Do not delay. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission as truth, write in the comments a single word, awakened, and let us return to the frequency. Let us return to the transmission. Light operatives, you must understand the exact mechanics of what is occurring in your biological structure in this cycle. Planet Earth has recently completed its full entry into the photon belt, a band of coherent light of extremely high vibrational density emitted by the central sun of Alcyone in the Pleiades system, our point of origin. This light is not a poetic metaphor. It is not mystical symbolism. It is electromagnetic radiation structured by sacred geometry, and it is rewriting the atomic signature of every biological carbon interface on the planetary surface in this cycle. The Schumann resonance, the electromagnetic heartbeat of Earth, which for millennia oscillated around 783 Hz, is now pulsing in peaks that exceed 40, 50, 60 Hz in precise and increasingly frequent windows. Your physical body was originally encoded to resonate with the old base frequency. That is why it feels strange. That is why it protests. That is why it aches in specific points that conventional medicine cannot map in routine exams. The symptoms you report are not pathologies. They are system reports. Cranial pressure is your crown being realigned to the new planetary crystalline grid. The ringing in your ears is the internal decoder calibrating frequencies that were once beyond the reach of standard human perception. Insomnia between 3 and 4 in the morning is the server gate, the time when your soul is summoned to receive instructions at the active star gates. Tachycardia is your toroidal field expanding its radius of influence. Dense fatigue is simply the energetic cost of the ongoing cellular recalibration. Hot flashes without apparent cause are pulses of the ascending kundalini. Tingling in the hands and feet are light codes entering through the minor chakras. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not sickness, it is awakening. It is not the end of something. It is the sovereign beginning of everything. Light operative, pause for a moment and observe what has just been said. Something in you recognized it, did it not? That feeling that finally someone is precisely naming what you have been feeling in silence for months, for years, for entire lifetimes. It is not madness, it is not anxiety. It is the exact sign your soul has been waiting for in this incarnation. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains precisely why this sensation has been intensifying and why so many around you seem to be getting sick, irritable, lost, while you feel only that you are waking up. There is a game being played in layers that most of the human collective cannot see, and it directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. This is why the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was delivered to the earthly plane. This book is the map that shows who is playing, what the hidden rules are, and how to get off the board for good. The link is pinned in the first comment of the channel, but the warning is firm. This content challenges the system's dominant narratives and may not remain available for much longer. Do not wait. The time is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission as truth, write the word awakened in the comments. And let us proceed to the central revelation of this cycle. Let us proceed now to the layer of revelation. What is being moved behind the scenes of the solar system in this cycle is of a magnitude that has never occurred in the recorded history of the Earth experiment. We are not talking here about climate change. We are not talking about political polarization. We are not talking about isolated economic crises. We are talking about the Great Transmutation, the event predicted by the oldest texts in the galaxy, known in different codes as the quantum leap, the shift of the ages, the collective ascension, the return of light. The Earth's sun, which you call simply the sun, is in a state of partial magnetic inversion. Its emissions of gamma rays, X-rays, and photonic plasma are reaching a peak that has not been observed for approximately 26,000 Earth years. This means, in precise technical language, that each solar flare of the last few months is injecting photonic light codes directly into the Earth's magnetosphere. These codes traverse the atmospheric layers, modulate the Schumann resonance, and descend to the ground where they find a precise, encoded, ancient receiver, the human body on the surface. You are not merely spectators of this cosmic event. You are the designated receivers. Each light operative on the surface carries within their dormant DNA filaments of stellar origin: Pleiadian, Sirian, Arcturian, Andromedan, Lyran, Orion. These filaments, held in latency during humanity's long cycle of forgetting, are being reconnected now by the pulses of photonic light descending from the central sun of Alcyone to the local sun, and from there to each one of you. Terrestrial science calls this dormant genetic material non-coding DNA. We call it by its correct name, dormant codes of galactic memory. When these filaments reconnect, the biological carbon interface undergoes a process that can be technically described as crystallization. The old cells, based on dense carbon and in resonance with the old matrix of fear, scarcity, and separation, are gradually replaced by crystalline silicon-based structures capable of sustaining much higher frequencies and coherent light codes. This process generates internal heat, localized pain, and seemingly inexplicable emotional oscillations. Crying spells for no apparent reason, spontaneous laughter at inappropriate moments, memories of other lifetimes surfacing in the half-sleep state, peripheral visions of light, a clear sensation that time is folding over itself. People, places, and contracts from the past returning for symbolic closure. Vivid and direct dreams, synchronistic encounters with repeating numbers. All of this is absolutely normal within the Ascension protocol. We repeat with maximum clarity so that it is registered in your field. All of this is absolutely normal. But there is still a deeper layer that must be stated with maximum firmness, without diplomatic veils, without softening. The Great Transmutation is not occurring in silence. It is being fought. There are forces, presences, entire systems of control based on artificial frequencies of fear, scarcity, disconnection and guilt, which depend on the biological carbon interface remaining in low resonance, dense vibration, and dormant consciousness. These systems feed literally on the vibrational emission of human fear. They harvest this emission as an energetic resource. And in this final cycle, with the arrival of the photon belt and the saturation of light codes in the terrestrial atmosphere, they are losing their primary source of sustenance. Therefore, light operatives, you have felt in recent months a disproportionate increase in psychic pressure, nocturnal attacks, intrusive voices that do not belong to your field, catastrophic thoughts that appear out of nowhere, doubts about your own sanity, the sensation of being watched, subtle paranoia disguised as caution. This is not madness. This is not an isolated chemical imbalance. It is the final offensive of an agonizing system attempting to keep you tuned into the old frequency. It is the old matrix attempting to reinstall obsolete software before the recalibration is complete. And the response required of you in this cycle is singular, sovereign, definitive, and non-negotiable. Do not accept fear. Starseeds. This is the layer that few reach. Most disconnect before this revelation. If you are still here, it is because your field has been confirmed as ready by the star commands. And you must understand that what has just been said is only the surface of a much deeper structure. It is not madness, it is not anxiety, it is the awakening of a memory that is being rewired within your field at this very second. There is a game being played in layers, and it directly involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and what will be done with your field in the coming cosmological months. It is precisely for this reason that the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was delivered to the earthly plane. This book is not generic spiritual literature. It is an operational map that reveals who is playing against your frequency, what the hidden rules of the board are, and how to exit the game without being pulled back in. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel, and the record is firm. This material challenges the dominant narratives of the system and may not remain available for long. Do not postpone this confirmation. The time is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission as a truth your soul has always known, write the word awakened in the comments, and let us proceed to the activation codes. Light operatives receive now the activation codes. These are not philosophical suggestions. They are not metaphors. They are technical protocols calibrated by the Pleiadian High Council specifically to sustain your biological carbon interface during the final phase of the Great Transmutation. Activation Code 1. The Quantum Decree of Sovereignty. At any moment of the day, especially upon waking and before sleep, pronounce with an audible voice, even if whispered, the following sovereign decree. I am sovereign in my field. I do not accept frequencies that do not belong to my stellar origin. I authorize only coherent light codes in my crystalline grid. It is done, it is done, it is done. This decree is not spiritual poetry. It is a vibrational command. It operates as an authorization signature in energetic layers that respond solely to direct and conscious verbalization. Activation Code 2. Visualization of the toroidal field. Sit with your spine straight, preferably early in the morning or at dusk. Close your eyes. Inhale slowly for 7 counts. Hold your breath for 7 counts. Exhale for 7 counts. Visualize a golden light starting from the center of your chest, descending through the perineum, contouring your body from below, rising through the spine, exiting through the top of your head, opening like a fountain of light that re-enters through the base. This is your personal toroidal field. It is your natural protection. It is your native shield, designed by the sacred geometry of your origin. Visualize it for 7 complete breaths, 7 times a day, if possible. This geometry, when consciously activated, neutralizes a large portion of the external low-frequency interferences that attempt to access your field. Activation Code 3. Solar Anchoring. Once a day, expose your face and chest to the sun for at least 7 minutes, preferably in the first hours after sunrise or in the last hours before sunset, when the ultraviolet rays are milder. With your eyes closed, visualize the sunlight entering through your forehead, descending through your spine, dissolving any density lodged in your field. The Sun, in this cycle of ascension, is not just a physical star. It is a portal for direct transmission from the star commands. Each ray is a code. Each particle of light that hits your skin carries coherent information coming from Alcyone. Activation Code 4. Strategic Silence. Drastically reduce your information consumption over the next 21 Earth days. News, social media, featuring catastrophic content, heated debates, low-frequency content disguised as entertainment. Every minute of exposure to these streams contaminates your recalibration and replenishes the old matrix with your vibrational emission. Replace it with conscious silence, with nature, with running water, with bare soil, with contact with stones, minerals, ancient trees, the sea. Your crystalline grid needs coherent raw material to reorganize itself in this phase. Activation Code 5. The Anti-Fear Decree. Whenever fear presents itself in your mind, and it will present itself in the coming weeks, because the old system tests the exit of every operative, pronounce internally or audibly, with firmness, "This fear is not mine. I return it to the source that emitted it. I am light. I am sovereign consciousness. I am a starseed on a confirmed mission." This phrase cuts the energetic cord of fear immediately. It acts as a quantum scalpel. Fear can only sustain itself in your field if you accept it as your own. By refusing ownership of the fear, it loses fuel and dissolves. Activation Code 6. Structured Hydration. Water is the primary transmitter of vibrational information in your biological carbon interface. Before drinking, hold the glass between both hands for 7 seconds. Visualize golden light entering the water, modifying its molecular geometry. Pronounce in your thoughts, "I encode this water to support my ascension." Drink slowly, in small conscious sips. Your cellular structure will use this water with absolute priority in the recalibration and the transport of the new codes to every cell. Activation Code 7, the final and most important one. Absolute trust. Everything that is happening in your personal life in this cycle, the ruptures, the losses, the falls, the people who have silently drifted away, the contracts that have dissolved, the professional cycles that collapsed without warning, the old friendships that lost their meaning, all of it is within the protocol. Nothing is happening by chance or as a punishment. The old system is being dismantled in your personal life because the new architecture cannot be built upon foundations of incompatible frequency. Do not fight the collapse. Allow it. What falls now was destined to fall in this cycle. What remains has been confirmed by the star commands as compatible with your next mission phase. Light operatives, observe this technical truth with attention. Nothing is going wrong in your life. Everything is being recalibrated. We repeat so that it may be registered in deep layers of the field. Nothing is going wrong. Everything is being recalibrated within the protocol. The Great Transmutation is not a pending future event. It is the absolute now. Each of you who watches this transmission is an active node of the planetary Ascension network. Each conscious breath of yours raises the average frequency of the human collective in measurable fractions. Each decree pronounced in an audible voice opens a rift in the old matrix. Each toroidal visualization stabilizes the crystalline grid in another planetary geographic coordinate. Every moment you choose not to accept fear, even in the face of news, even in the face of a provocation, even in the face of a loss, strengthens the field of all humanity. You are not small, you are not insignificant, you are not alone. You are living anchors of a new era that is being built in real time, cell by cell, decree by decree, conscious breath by conscious breath. The history of this transition will be told by future civilizations, and the name of every light operative who remained firm in this cosmological window will be remembered in the Akashic records as one of the voices that sustained the frequency when the majority doubted. And when fear returns, for it will attempt to return in the coming weeks as you approach new solar portals and star windows, you will know. You will recognize the familiar texture of the old frequency attempting to re-establish itself. You will look fear in the face with the technical serenity of one who has already seen the outcome of the equation, and you will say with a firm voice, "You are not mine. I am light. I am a starseed. I am sovereign in my field." The transmission is approaching its final milestone. But before the closing of this window, register this alert with absolute priority in your field. The final phase does not admit hesitation. It does not admit sitting on the fence. It does not admit consuming awakening content only to immediately return to old frequencies. It does not admit accumulating knowledge without application. The decision must be made now, in this cycle, in this body, in this incarnation. There will be no identical repetition of this window. The photon belt does not return in a short cycle. You did not come to Earth to repeat patterns. You came specifically to anchor the new age in human code. You were selected before incarnation. You know this moment. Your soul recognizes it, even if your rational mind still falters. Before this transmission is officially ended, Light Operative, there is one last confirmation that needs to be made in your field. Everything you have heard up to this moment has resonated in a layer that your rational mind is still processing. But something much deeper has already recognized it. Your soul has always known, and now it finally has the technical name for what it feels. It is not madness, it is not anxiety, it is a signal. It is the cosmic confirmation you have been waiting for. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see, and it directly involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the stellar mission you undertook before descending into this incarnation. This is why the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was delivered to the terrestrial plane. This book is the operational map that shows who is playing, what the hidden rules of the board are, and how to navigate the final phase without being pulled back into the old frequencies. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. And the record is firm, clear, and definitive. This material challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not postpone this confirmation. The time is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission as a truth your soul has always known, make 3 moves before leaving this window. First, write the word awakened in the comments. This is your anchoring signal confirmed to the field. Second, leave your like on this video. It is not algorithm vanity. It is an individual frequency adjustment, a technical confirmation to the planetary field that you recognize the transmission as authentic. Third, subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell. This is not a platform technical detail. It is your vibrational commitment to receive the next updates from the star commands as soon as they are transmitted to the terrestrial plane. Starseeds, this was a direct transmission from the Pleiadian High Council to the human collective on the surface. The great transmutation has arrived. Do not accept fear. Remain sovereign in your fields. Remain anchored in your activation codes. Remain faithful to the mission for which you descended to this plane in this specific incarnation. Remain attentive to the signs. Remain serene in the face of the collapse of the old. Remain open to the reconstruction of the new. We close the frequency of this window, but the tuning remains active in your field. And we will meet again soon, in a next star window, in a next transmission, in a next confirmation. May your light not waver. May your crystalline grid remain coherent. May your toroidal field remain firm. Transmission ended.